Welcome to part 3. So we are back with the same page that we were before you left. So now we have to come up with a number that is in between, and we know that the in between number is the hardest one to find. So we have to look. The lid won't come off this marker. So this one is 75, and this one is 76. So there are no numbers that come between 75 and 76, so we're going to have to look at tenths. And this is 8 tenths. So I know what comes after 8 tenths. You're right, 9 tenths. So I could say 75 and 9 tenths would come after, and it comes before this one. Could also say 76 and 0 tenths. That comes next after this one. It's still before this one. I could go all the way to 76 and 7 tenths. So I have a couple of options that would fit in there, but not a whole lot. Okay, so I'm going to put a exercise in front of you now, and I would like you to, in a second, pause the video and see if you can come up with a number that would go between here, that is smaller, greater, greater, in between, smaller, smaller, greater, in between. So pause the video and figure it out. Okay, you are back. So we could have many different numbers that would fit in those blanks. So this is 461, that's 464. I know a number that comes in between there, 462 would come in between there. A number that's smaller than 461 could be 460. I could put a decimal there too, and 1/10. I could put a decimal here too, and 1/10. A number that is larger than 464 would be 468 and 2/10. So here you could have had a variety of numbers. Just remember, it has to come between 461 and 464. Here we had 460 possible whole numbers and then all the decimals that go with it. And here we could have gone anywhere from 464 and 9/10 all the way to infinity and beyond. Here we are coming up with the number that comes after 75. So I could say 76 and 9/10. I have to come up with a number that comes between 73 and 75. One number comes between 73 and 75, and that is 74. I'm going to give it a decimal. I'm going to say and 5/10. Here, my smallest number is 73, so I have to come up with a number that's smaller than 73. And, I'm going to pick 68 and 4/10 is smaller. Last question. So here my smallest number is 2,810. The number that comes right before that is 2,809. And I could give it a decimal of not 8/10. So that's smaller. Here I need to come up with a number that is bigger than 2,820. I'm going to go 2,920 and 1/10. So now I have to come with a number between 2,810, 2,820. And I know what number is smack dab in the middle between 10 and 20. It's 15. So I can say 2,815 and 4/10. So when we get to do that in our work today, make sure you're paying really close attention to your numbers. One last thing before I talk about what you're going to do today is I have a whole bunch of numbers down here. 7 and 2/10, 6 and 1/10, 7 and 9/10, 6 and 5/10, 6 and 3/10, 7 and 7/10. Are these numbers in order? No, they are not in order. So we are going to put them in order. So we're going to start with the first number, 7 and 2/10. So 7 and 2/10 would come after 7 and no tenths. So that would be 7 and 1/10. So this is where 7 and 2/10 would be on the number line, because it's 7 and no tenths, 7 and 1/10, 7 and 2/10. So I put that one on the line. 6 and 1/10, so here's 6 with no tenths, so I know that the next one would be 6 and 1/10. So put that one on the line. 7 and 9/10, so here's my 7, 2/10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one has 9/10, so this would be 7 and 9/10. 6 and 5/10, so at 6 again, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10. So here would be 6 and 5/10. 6 and 3/10 would be falling in between these guys, 6 and 2/10, 6 and 3/10. So this would be 6 and 3/10. And my last one is 7 and 7/10. So this is 7 and 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10. So 7 and 7/10 would be right there. Are my numbers in order now? Yes, they are. So if you're ever getting stuck, you can always use a number line to help you know to put them in order. So for today's math, we are going to be doing page 43. So this is looking a lot like the first activity that we did together on the first video, where we had our comparing the boxes. So they want us to remember that every square is a 1 and every stick is 1/10. So they would like you to circle the number for each base 10, write the number for each base 10 model using the numerals in the box. Then circle the greater number in the pair. So here they said there are 3 1s and 6 10ths. So they put it there. You need to figure out how much this is and put it there. Then you need to look at these two, and whichever one is greater, you need to circle that whole part of the question. So if this side ended up being greater, you would circle this. If this side was greater, you would circle that. You're going to do the same thing for B. Here's your first number. What is that written as a decimal? Here's your second number. Write it as a decimal, and then circle which one of these two is greater. Then it says, explain how you knew which number in part A was greater. So how did you know which of these two was the greater number? Then you need to draw some base 10 models for the pairs of numbers. Then you need to circle the greater number. So here you need to draw 9 and 7/10. So you're going to draw 9 1s, 9 of these boxes, and 7 sticks. Over here you're going to draw 7 and 9/10. So you have to draw 7 1s and 9 10ths. Then you need to circle, is this picture greater or is this picture greater? Circle which one. Here you have 12 and 8/10, which you need to draw, and 8 and 2/10, which you need to draw, and then tell me which one is greater. Here we are moving on. It says find the value of each digit. So here the 7 is in the tenths place, so it's 7/10. Here the 8 is in the ones place, so it's worth 8. You need to figure out what 9 and 7/10 is worth. So you put 7/10 here, 9 here. Which one of those is greater? So if you think 9 and 7/10 is greater, you'd write 9 and 7/10 is greater than 8 and 7/10. So you do the same thing here. The 6 is actually saying it's 6/10. The 3 is actually saying it's 3, and the 4 is in the tens place, so it's saying 40. You break those down, put the greater number there and the smaller number there. You can do the same thing for C and D. Number 3, it says circle the digits that are different in each pair, in the pair of numbers, then write the greater number in the box. So here they looked at and they said the 6 and the 7 are different. They circled them and they wrote the larger one in the box. Read the numbers from left to right. Remember how I did that? We always started at the left and went right. Circle the first pair of digits you find that are different. So the 4s are the same, the 3s are the same, the 10s number's different. The 1s number's also different, but we don't circle that one because it's not the first one. And then you need to write the greater number in the box. So which one of those two numbers was larger, greater, put it there. Circle the greater number. Write less than or greater than in the box to make the statement true. So which number is greater? It gets the big mouth. The number that's smaller gets the little mouth. Question 8. write the second number below the first number with the decimal points lined up. So make sure how I did that, you make sure you're lining those decimals up right on top of each other, and then you need to circle the greater number. So here, when they put that number there, they said this one was the greater one. Circle the greater number. So look at these three and decide which one is the greatest number. Number 10, arrange the numbers in descending order. So you're going to start with the biggest one and go to the smallest one. Descending means it's going down. 11, write a number in each blank so the three numbers are arranged in ascending order, so they are getting bigger. This is just like we did on our sheet a minute ago, so I'm pretty sure you can do that. So you got to come up with a number that goes between 529 and 592. So you do that activity, and then the last one is 12, mark the numbers on the number line using an X. So just like I did that, you're going to do that. Then write the numbers in ascending and descending order. So these are the three numbers. You need to put X's on the number line and write them there. Then you need to put those numbers in ascending order, so they're getting bigger. And then you have to put them in descending order, so they're getting smaller. Explain why it would be difficult to make a number line to mark the numbers 43 and 9/10, 9,432 and 2/10, and 432 and 9/10 on. So why would that be hard to make a number line for those three numbers? And tell me there. So that is your math for today. I hope that you do well. If you get stuck, always go back to the videos. And if you're still stuck, email Mrs. Hickey or I, and we will be able to talk you through it. Have a good day.